We were too excited to get it in your hands and didn't want to just show it off to you and then make you have to wait. The best part of my job is that I get to be the one to announce that the Oblivion remaster will be available today.
That's why it's the GOAT! The GOAT!
I played the original Oblivion for about 2 hours before refunding it because I was a teenager and used to be a stickler when it came to graphics. And I have never been a fan of Skyrim like a lot of people because I guess the only way to really enjoy Skyrim is with mods. However, with the release of the remastered Oblivion, I'm going to give this another shot. Let's see how this goes.
This is the 27th of last seed, the year of Akatosh 433, and the final hours of my life.
I'm going to be addicted to this game for the next 2 months, aren't I? I have been addicted to this game for about 3 weeks now, and I can't tell you how much I love it because this game is way better than I originally thought. The visuals for this game are amazing. Combat is so well thought out and fun. The variety of choices that you can make and experimentation you have available is endless. And the voice acting is absolutely...
You are, friend. But you've got about 10 seconds to tell me what you're doing in my blood war before I lop your arms off. You what? You want to be a combatant? Look at you! My granny could beat you and she's dead! Wait, you're serious, aren't you?
I'm so happy they kept the original stiff and awkward voice lines. You know what? I'm gonna stop glazing this game for a second and you'll just see for yourself how good it is. Let's go back to the beginning and see how my journey through this game went from where I started and where I am now. Because I'm not finished yet and will most likely not be finished with this game for a very long time. Off the gate, the intro for this game is absolutely beautiful. The music and updated visuals look amazing and still stay true to the original game. I loaded into my character creator and created Bob, my handsome and glorious future king of Tamriel. I went with the Nord class because I wanted to keep a balance of weapon skills and use other tools the game gives me. With that, Bob was born into this world. I was then insulted by a prisoner before the king came through my cell to escape to the sewers outside the city. They then...
Stay put, prisoner.
Good. Let's go. We're not out of this yet.
The voices overlap each other still in this game. Thank God! The original campiness and hilarious interactions of the first game are still gonna be in this one as well. I then head down deeper as I am forced to go through the caves of the tunnel. I am taught about my #1 op of this game, lockpicks. Just stay up there 2 milliseconds longer! I then collect as many weapons and armor as I can carry and drip Bob out. I then meet the king on my way out and am introduced to the special abilities I am able to choose from. I didn't want to increase my strength and magic because I could always just increase that later, so I chose the shadow to stay invisible for 60 seconds per day. After another minute, the king gets assassinated and it is here where I am shocked that the knight is not mad at all at me about failing to protect the last king of the country. He's just kind of disappointed. He says I'm a knight, but I corrected that later after doing some research on the best class to level and chose Spell Sword. With that, I exit the cave and my journey across the world of Oblivion begins. I started by going to the first structure I saw and started raiding a raider camp until I realized maybe I'm a bit underprepared and unequipped for this, and I should come back later after getting some more resources and weapons. With that, I headed to the city where I met...
Stop! You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen goods are now forfeit.
This is the best game ever. However, I want to say why I do not like Skyrim and why this game hooked me harder. First off, this game and its story hooked me much more than Skyrim. Yes, Skyrim has cooler powers, but in my opinion, it's more enjoyable with mods. And I can't apply those due to my computer being absolute garbage. Also, the powers and builds you can make in this game seem much more interesting and easier to navigate than in Skyrim in my opinion. Also, fast travel being an option from the very start of the game in order to get to the major areas is very nice as well. So you have a mediator around the world from the start. Also, I like the aesthetic and the feeling of this game much more as well. It's almost a little more comforting and peaceful than Skyrim, if you ask me. Overall, I understand that Skyrim is a beloved game and people enjoy it as the best game in the series, but I'm enjoying Oblivion much more at this point in time. If that changes, then I will admit where I was wrong, but as far as enjoyment and fun is concerned, this takes the cake for me. Anyways, back to the main video. I went to the arena to win some money fast and decided to head to the first location where the necklace was meant to be delivered to. I told Joffrey that I was there to deliver the king's message, and he hooked me up with some more gear before sending me across the country to meet the king's other son, Martin. Oh, by the way, Martin is the king's only remaining son because the assassins who killed him picked off his family one by one for some reason. I don't know. I guess you'll have to keep watching to find out. I literally do cross-country running and come to a destroyed city with the ugliest knight guarding it. The funniest part about this game is how expressive the character models' eyes are compared to the stiffness of the rest of their body language and mouth. So it's an average Bethesda game. I enter the world of Oblivion in the most cinematic shot I have seen in a game in a long time. I find a very brave soldier who would be every single one of us if we were in his situation. I explore around and realize that literally everything in this world wants to kill you. There's goblins, rocks falling out of nowhere, lava is everywhere, even the plants want to clip farm you. I make my way through the castle and shut down the portal, and I'm teleported outside where the knight tells me that my 2 hours of experience are better than his knights who have trained for their entire lives for this. We then raid the city of the remaining monsters, and is that a triceratops? We enter the church where people are holed up and meet Martin. After telling him that he is now the president of our country, he says, "Oh. Hi, bro." And we take him back to the mountains where we're ambushed. However, with my skills being too good for any of the assassins to handle, I save the monk palace, and we find Joffrey has lost the amulet. Not surprised? Bob, why would you trust someone with that haircut? I took Joffrey and Martin to Cloud Temple. I decided to leave him there for a while so I could explore, seeing as this game seemed to be at a good point to do some exploring. I went to the city at the base of the mountain and bought some gear before heading back to the Imperial City for more arena matches. I grinded out for lots of gold in order to purchase more weapons and armor to repair the ones I already had, and plus it's just a fun game mode to play. It's a nice gladiator arena with a pretty well balanced one-on-one combat challenge, and it's a great way to earn some gold. After ranking up several times in the arena, I figured that was enough and decided to head elsewhere. I searched for some side quests, but after not finding much to do, I decided to continue the main quest and met Boris at the bar. Very ironic. After killing an assassin, he then tells me he has a meeting in the sewer system to take a book to the Arcane University. I then tried to get better at gaining favor with someone with the persuasion minigame, and after being insulted, I was not going to let that slide. After assaulting a citizen, I reloaded the save, and on my way to the school, I had another Oblivion moment.
Misha may have the worst
If you
job
can
in the
get
city.
used to Thor,
She
you
takes
can find some
complaints
good
all
deals
day
there.
and
So I've
nothing
heard.
ever comes of them.
The feedback
so
isn't
I've heard.
fancy.
Have you
but it
heard
fills
any
you up.
word about the
They
other
sure
provinces?
do sell food. They say syndicates of wizards.
You can
have
buy
led a
food
boycott
there.
of imperial goods in the land of the Ultima.
Take care.
It seems Somerset Isle has become a much more dangerous place.
I found out I needed 4 books for a full message to something. I don't know. I really wasn't paying attention, and it wasn't making much sense while I was zoning out. I met up with Boris, and we entered the meeting in the sewers as he drops a very unnecessarily suspicious amount of character exposition. So I had a feeling he was going to die and decided to try to go against his wishes to go into the meeting. He agrees to hide and ambush the enemy at the right moment. I sit down, and during the meeting, Boris screams at the top of his lungs while charging at the enemy out in the open. I don't think he knows what an ambush is. He dies, and I got curious on what would happen if I tried to save him and take out the guards before he gets killed, but after several attempts, I figured it was a scripted event and moved on. After turning the books into the school, I decided it was time for an armor upgrade and looked up some good early game armors I could get. I scrolled to find that there is a very good glitch to get high tier armor for almost no effort. All I have to do is go to specific monoliths to get the armor it offers for 2 minutes. Then I have to find an enemy or find a way to slightly damage it, and then use a repair tool on it. You then are able to drop the armor and weapon, and once the timer wears off, pick it back up, and you now have an enchanted armor piece. This glitch is extremely easy to pull off, and the only thing you really need is a repair tool. For some reason, I'm guessing it takes the armor out of the inventory you have and puts it back into the armor slot where it was originally found as a new armor piece, and that's why you can drop it. And this armor and weapons work great, especially in the early game. So I got my full set of enchanted armor and decided to test my new armor out in the arena to see how it fares against low level enemies, and it absolutely shreds everything. I knew I was going to be over leveled for a while after this. I was exploring around the cities I haven't been to yet and chased this guy to see if I could ask him where he was running to, or where he was running from, and if he had a side quest to give me. However, after a minute, I realized I was chasing him for probably no reason, but I was too deep into the chase to stop now. So I caught up to him after about 2 minutes of chasing him, and it turns out the whole time some bandits were chasing us, and I just never turned around. These enemies will literally follow you to the ends of the earth once they're aggroed on you. I looted a cave full of goblins and got some extra materials and gold, and before I was going to go back to Cloud Temple, I wanted to see what this tower on the other side of the mountainside was, and I opened it to find nothing. Just a little update after editing. I went back and I grabbed the quest items and I rebuilt that place, and now I have it as my own personal home. Anyways, back to the video. I went back to the school and handed the creepy lady the last book I needed to collect. I then met up with the cult that had been hunting the prince and sneaked into one of their meetings and grabbed the book I needed for the quest. I then eradicated the entire base, no questions asked. It has some nice loot and you probably can join the cult, but screw that, I choose to be nice on my playthrough. I then headed back to Cloud Temple and told the prince I found the book, and he had a very calm reaction.
By the nine, such a thing is dangerous even to handle.
Joffrey then tells me to hunt down some spies by the side of the castle, and I kill both of them in 2 seconds. Then I took a moment to not fast travel, and I wanted to walk up the mountain during the sunset, and this was the moment I fell in love with this game. The music, the atmosphere, the visuals, the drip, it was perfect. And I think I finally understand the hype for these games. They're corny, epic, hilarious, intense, creative, and some of the best fantasy RPGs in gaming. This game is so good, and I'm only in the early game. There's so much I haven't seen, and I know I need to grind out and explore to get the cooler abilities and weapons, and I'm so excited to continue my journey in this game. It's one of the best remastered games I've ever seen in my life, and I am hyped for what comes next. The game made me hyped way more than Skyrim did, and while I will probably now go back to retry Skyrim, this game will definitely be a special experience for a long time. I'll continue to play, and I can't wait to see where the adventures of Bob take me in the future.